bigger economies, more populous nations, that is where the experience is bad.
You want to change banking from being a chore. What has changed? What has evolved right from the early days to now?
We have always focused on products or experiences which other banking software companies have not looked into.
You got data-driven insights.
Our products, if you see, has been evolving.
I see that there is a strong focus in the Philippines.
We more associate with Philippines because most of the banks in the Philippines are our customers.
Taking observation and actually then leveraging.
A bank does a lot of transactions. They know what kind of customers walk in on a certain day, what kind of transactions happen in certain branches.
Every customer become a priority customer.
Today, it is even digitizing a lot of things, as simple as going to a lobby and standing.
There's access and there's experience.
People wanted to withdraw cash there on the beach. That's what we were trying to solve.
I'm delighted to introduce a really good friend of mine, a good a partner I've worked with for many years, and the best way I can describe him is a serial entrepreneur, a genius behind the genie, and what I would like to call is the most humble person I've known. What I say is humility in a suit. So thank you, Ram, for being here.
Thank you for having me. Thanks for making me do this.
The reason we are here is Bank-Genie now has completed 10 years.
Correct.
I'm sure it's been one wonderful journey. And I recall that you had told me a long time ago that you want to change banking from being a chore to banking as an experience.
Yeah.
Now, if you have to look back and dial back this time, the last 10 years, how has it been for you? What has changed? What has evolved right from the early days to now?
When we started off, we thought of in a particular way that banking is a tiresome process which we do. From there today, I think it's evolved a lot. From what we wanted to do, things have changed as well. Because initially we said we change the process, we simplify the process of banking. We try to help banks move away from the old processes and make it different. But then today it is even digitizing a lot of things. It is as simple as going to a lobby and standing. It's as simple as that. Because you were thinking that you need to go and stand.
Right.
But then over a period, it is not about changing the process. It's still going and standing in the lobby. But how do we stand? Why do we stand? How long do we stand? That is what we changed, I think. So initially, the idea when we started off, we thought that, okay, let's go and help banks establish branches with $100 maybe.
Right.
That was how we started off. But then
Yeah.
the story. But it moved away from that. We thought, how do we make things easy for people to do the banking? That's how it became. Yeah. Looking back at 10 years, yes, there's been a lot of learning, a lot of maturity coming into the company. We have learned along the way a lot of things. It is like we thought we'll start off with one product. Today we are amazed that we ourselves, looking back, that we have 7 products with us.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's certainly growth. And so this growth that you're talking about and this journey that you're talking about, what would you attribute this success to, this growth to? Is it the focus that you had on, as you said, I want to solve a customer's problem? I mean, I look at the problem and I want to solve that problem. Or was it a focus on where technology is going and what can I do with it? Or is it I know a lot of businesses start and then they look at it in the near term, and some people have it looking for the long term. What would you think are the attributes that you think contributed to the growth of what you're saying from one product to 7 products?
I would put it this way, that earlier on, when we thought that we need to solve problems, wake up every day and solve a problem. But then along the way we did that, but along with solving problems, I think we also try to improve the experiences of customers of banks. And to your question, if I were to be telling what to attribute the success to, I think it's a team. Without the team, this company would have been nothing. I take pride. I'm proud to say that the people who opened the doors on the first day are still with me. We have 10 people We have grown into a bigger company, but then those 10 people who started off along with us are still with us and they have grown. They were young people then, young, what do you say, 20 somethings. When they join the company, they are all mature, 30 something. Some of them are product owners. They have written a product single handedly. I would attribute the success to that. But then I would also attribute the success to the mind, what do I put it? Frame of mind of these boys and of my team. Uh, how they visualized when we say that we need to improve an experience, they went a step ahead and started thinking, what else can we add to this? I mean, I keep coming back to the point of lobby because we still don't find a lot of competition there. Uh, when we started thinking, how do we improve the experience of a customer walking into a lobby of a bank? But people started thinking, how do I notify the bank when person walks into the bank? It shouldn't be that I go with a piece of paper to a bank front office person and say that I'm here for so on. Can the bank know technologically? Because technology is so advanced that when I walk into a, what do you call, geofence in technology terms, I should be notified that such and such a person is here and he's here for a specific. So I think the success attribution is various factors. It is about how not only I thought how to solve a problem, it is how the team thought how to solve a problem, how the team contributed to it.
Well, that's so lovely to hear you say that, because when one thinks of a technology product, one thinks technology. Very seldom do you think people. So what I'm getting from what you're saying, the two key things. One is people are central to Bank-Genie, and the second thing, it says a lot about the culture of the place. That the fact that there is a team that has stayed with you for so long. At the same time, they seem to, as you're saying, they seem to be a team that owns the product, right from the problem that they want to solve to creating the product that will help solve that problem, and how can I do it better. So I think that speaks volumes for the culture of Bank-Genie, the brand that you built over the last 10 years.
Yeah, I think you put it very beautifully by saying that they own the product, the experience, the company. I mean, that's how they look at it as well in real terms. I mean,
so would you say that the culture of the place has its own sense of entrepreneurship, its own sense of autonomy, and that when people are owning what they're doing as a part of the Bank-Genie culture?
okay, when we started off, it wasn't so very frankly. I mean, to be honest, it wasn't in that way we started off. But along the way, I think people became smaller clusters, smaller business groups within the company.
Oh, wow. Okay.
They started having their own product, their own business. So it was like that. But still, it is sales is a divided function which we do. But they all own a single product. I think you rightly pointed out saying that they have been entrepreneurs by themselves for their product.
That speaks really volumes of Bank-Genie, the company. And the way I look at it also, like, you've started 10 years ago, and there is a startup culture which is here and now, sort of high impact and just get it where it's business. But there is 10 years also tells me that there is a long-term view to Bank-Genie. And if I may put it in this way, that would you say that a lot of companies I notice just focus on quick results, necessarily users, and rather than revenue or forming a relationship? Would you say that is something that is central to how you govern, if I may use that word, the company?
I think in that sense, we were very clear from the beginning that it's not revenues that we are looking at. We are here in for the longer period. We are trying to change something. We were of a conservative mindset in business. If you look at it, business in the olden day was run for profits. But today, most of the businesses are run for revenues. The top line, the bottom line has become irrelevant. It could be in red and it doesn't matter. They just go on selling, but they might be bleeding. which we thought was not. Which is why, if you see, we are proud of the fact that we have 42, 43 banks today in the 10 years across the globe, from Asia, Africa, Middle East, whatever. But then at the end of it, we had a focus in two things. One, what the bank gets as an experience by buying our product. The customers should feel the experience. And also, we had a vision clearly fixed on profits. I don't. I would say profit is not a bad word.
Yeah.
In business, we are all here in business to do
There's
profit.
no
but
need to shy away from that. Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that was a different frame of mind from how. If you say how we are different from other startups, I would say that if we were to do that, we could have also signed up 100 banks and kept on raising money, and but that would have not been. Today we are a solid company where we are making our own money. Our money is making us grow further.
Also, want to dwell a little bit on what is interesting. I feel is digitization took a pivotal turn in the banking and actually around the world, and through the pandemic. And what's interesting is Bank-Genie had I've seen two sides of it, because if you started 10 years ago, the first 5 years were pre-pandemic and the next 5 years are post-pandemics. You know, it's sliced into clearly two halves. How would you say things have changed over my first 5 years? Something happened in the world and there was a sense of acceleration in the form of, did you recognize, did Bank-Genie go through that process of, let's not call it evolution, but sudden revolution? Did that happen?
I think the first 5 years is when we were learning, we were trying to find our feet on ground. We were trying to learn what the company can do, how we move ahead, because we came into life with just one product. From there on, we were trying to develop, but then pandemic clearly set the stage for us to go to the next level. Pandemic told most of the banks that digitization is important, without which, because suddenly you find yourself in a situation where you cannot crowd, you cannot enter a lobby, you cannot.
Yeah.
I mean, even go to a bank at that time.
Yeah.
At that time, we couldn't even go to a
The
bank.
term social distancing was all over the place. Yeah.
So that set the goals for the bank, and I think it also set our vision very clear. And banks knew what they want now, and thankfully for us, we were there. We had already done that. Inadvertently, I could call it. These products were not developed after COVID, because these products were done even before COVID. When we said you could create branches like a genie, that's how the name came, right? We said bank could create branches just like a genie out of nowhere. That's how we came up with the name Bank-Genie. At that time, there were no social distancing, there's no COVID, there's no pandemic, but people were still going to the bank. But suddenly now you needed multiple front ends, multiple channels where the banking services can be provided without being in one place. That's at the stage. And then comes various other products in our case, where you walk into a lobby of a bank, there's a lot of crowd, which forcibly the bank was supposed to remove. There's supposed to be social distancing. There cannot be people waiting. Then comes why do you can't go anywhere, like check deposit. We have a product where you can scan your check and send it for clearing instead of going and dropping into the box. COVID set the stage again. You can't go to the bank. You can't go anywhere. But if you get a check, you could scan it and send it. You don't really need to go. So I think digitizing was important, but COVID said, for us it was luckily 5 years and 5 years.
Yeah, and I think what you seem to suggest is what started out as a necessity became normal, in the sense it normalized that now you can just do a check deposit straight from where you are. So the habit, it created a habit of digitization that and you had all the tools present for that to take
Indeed.
place.
And
that's
people got used to it as well.
and yeah, exactly. It became a habit to that. That's very interesting. You've also mentioned earlier that yeah, you had a lovely story. I mean, you started in Africa and then you've branched out. I know to this all to Southeast Asia and even places in places like Kazakhstan and all. But I see that there is a strong focus in the Philippines
True.
for Bank-Genie. Um, you probably, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but you're probably there in about 14 or 15 banks in Bank-Genie. Can you tell me why Philippines has been so important for you? What about the setup or the environment or the context has made Philippines such a important place for Bank-Genie in its journey?
I think the situation in the Philippines was very conducive for us to start our journey there. The Central Bank of the Philippines is a very dynamic, progressive, forward-thinking central bank, which gave us a lot of opportunity. Even when we landed in 2016 in the Philippines, the central bank already was looking at how can they give banking out of a box. They even had a term for that. I can't remember now. They had a term. So they were trying to, I think it was called Bank Light or something. The
Okay.
central bank was calling it. They wanted to do that. So it was very encouraging for us to be there. And having said that, 70% of the population in Philippines didn't have banking access at that point in time, which set the stage for us to say that, yeah, now can we get banking to that 70% of the people, of the population of Philippines?
Right.
That's how we began.
Right.
So, yeah, I think, yeah, Philippines is home ground for us today. I think we still have a few more banks, around 6 or 7 banks more, to have the whole country for us.
Oh, that's amazing, and that's lovely. So you do seem to suggest that, as you said, that the environment was ready for you.
Yeah.
There was strong central government support at
central
that
bank.
at that time, and it seems to be and something about the I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Philippines is so spread out at the same time, and therefore maybe digitization and access to banking also plays a role in.
True, I think so. Yeah, as you might be aware, that Philippines is a lot of islands.
Yeah.
And even if you look two big cities in Philippines, Manila and Cebu, these are very far away, and these are two different islands. You fly a lot of time before you even land there in Cebu. So with all these islands, I have a very good experience. One of the banks, when we were doing a proof of concept, they took us to the beaches of Cebu. I mean, it's an island away from. We went by boat, and they wanted us to show how we can do banking on the beaches.
Oh wow! Okay.
I
Banking on the
still have
beach.
some
That's
photographs
an
from there,
interesting.
huh?
Banking on the beach. Wow.
Yeah. So we had to provide services there. They were village. It's a small village, a fishing village. The people could come there. We had our equipment set up, and people wanted to withdraw cash there on the beach. That's what we were trying to solve. For people like us from the developed countries, we think there should be an ATM, but we should understand that it's a emerging economy. There are no ATMs there. So that's different. Yeah. Philippines made a not only the central bank. Yeah, you rightly, as you pointed out, I think it is also the geographical structure of Philippines helped us. I think Indonesia is another one which could have a similar.
Yeah, actually, that's an important piece because, as you said earlier, like there's access and there's experience, and I think if you're fulfilling those objectives for banks, I'm sure Bank-Genie will truly be a genie for the people of the Philippines.
True.
I just want to move into I went for a recent festival of technology, and I noticed that several buzzwords like reimagined and reinvent and revolutionize, and I think some of them are maybe they're overspoken, but they're also very true as buzzwords for the industry. how do you see innovation moving forward in terms of for companies like Bank-Genie? Because you did point out earlier that some of your team does look at where the problem is and how can I solve it, and they try and create innovation to that. How do you think that these solving people's everyday problems, how do you go about that on a in the creation of your products for Bank-Genie? How do you take that, saying, okay, I need to solve this problem?
I don't know if I've got a single answer for this. I think it's more observation. What happens in real world. We cannot sit in an office and think, okay, I'm going to solve this problem. That's not going to help. Or we might be developing something which no one needs. That is what will happen.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. So you take it from real life.
Yeah, you'll have to, I think, walk into today. If you walk into one of the banks, if you see a lot of crowd, then we think, okay, why is crowd a problem? Why are people standing there? There should be a reason there. Why are people, first of all, visiting a branch? Can that be solved? If they still need to come there, how do we stagger it? How do we make it an experience for them? How do we make each walk-in customer a priority customer?
Oh, lovely. That's such a great way to look at it, because today you just have a priority line. So it's about making each.
You don't need to be a VIP. You don't need to be a premium customer. Can all banks make every customer a VIP customer or a premium customer?
That's such a fantastic way to think, I think, for if you look at it, it's like, how does every customer become a priority customer?
Exactly, yeah. In today's world with technology, you can do that. Right? I think technology, that is why technology is that we can help banks do that. How do they... there's artificial intelligence, there is learnings from history. A bank does a lot of transactions. They know what kind of customers walk in on a certain day, what kind of transactions happen in certain branches, what kind of time does front office executive take to fulfill a transaction. All these are already there. If we can use that and make the experience for the customer better, that is where we are making lives better with. As you said, buzzwords like reimagining, I don't know what.
Reinventing.
That is true in a way. I think people are saying that for a reason.
Yeah.
I don't know how far. Are they doing it? I don't know.
Yeah.
But those are words which everyone wants to use.
The intent behind the action is what you're saying. But I love what you're saying about the priority of a customer, the fact that you've got research or you've got data-driven insights that seem to form the basis of an observation. I think that's a very key point. I feel like just observing people, and that sometimes you cannot get through printed data, if I may call it, or you have to look and feel expressions of people, and those expressions have to change, I think, in terms of and therefore that's a great point of taking data, taking observation, and actually then leveraging it into an action.
Yeah, I think so. That is how we have been doing that most of the time. We have been seeing our products, if you see, has been evolving. We try to watch what is happening in a specific instance. Even with our own product, when we add new features to it, it is from what we have already launched, and then we see that this a particular functionality could take it one step further. Because when, again, coming back to one of our key products, when we introduced Lobby, first we only tried solving the lobby problem crowd at a bank, but then later on we said, can we even suggest to the customer that don't go to this branch, go to the other branch? Because we thought, technology can even tell how much kilometer, what traffic, because Google Maps tell us today what kind of traffic is there on the street. So if that's the thing, and if you really have the real-time data access to two branches, I should be able to tell you where to go. That a decision I can help you make. So those are the kinds of things which we learn from our own product maybe sometimes, and we try to give a better functionality. Uh,
That's interesting because what you're saying is there's two parts probably. There's this technology by itself is an agile thing, right? It's like how do I make good better, right?
yeah.
At one point, and then it's not just at the bank, right? It's about understanding behavior and trying to see how I can actually make the whole experience
Better.
That's a great point. I just want to dial back a bit, and I because there's something that I'm getting a lot from what you're saying, and there is technology and there are people, right? And you did point out earlier that you have a team that has the founding team, if I may call it that, has been there for over 10 years and they've stayed with you. Would it be fair to say that tech, but it requires great people, and it's always a constant effort to create the right talent? How do you attract talent towards Bank Genie?
Tech alone does not make great products. I think it's the people behind which makes the products. It's not the tech. Tech is just one part of it, I suppose. I think people make the product great. If it were technology, I think everybody would have started writing products, or technology is available everywhere, and we could have had so many products.
And with the growth of AI, I'm
you
sure.
can write a product all
Yeah.
using AI itself. Even as an example, if you look at it in Bank-Genie, the number of years with the number of people, number of standard hours would not equal to the products and the implementation done. Every team member contributing more than what he's supposed to contribute. He's been giving more than what was asked of him, which is why we are in the stage today. We have 40 plus banks, we have 7 products, growing from 1 product to 7 products, growing from one single implementation to 40 plus implementations across the globe. So yes, it is the people behind, it's not the tech behind.
Okay, and I'm really happy to hear this because that's something which I find, having seen such a lot of technology products, I feel everybody just talks tech and they don't talk people behind the tech, and I think that's something which is probably central, and I feel that's a true unique differentiator for Bank Genie. You did mention 40 banks across the globe. You've done really well in Philippines. What's next in terms of markets? Is it deeper into creating better experiences for the same banks, or is it also like, okay, let me take this, as you just mentioned, Indonesia? Is it like broadening the market that people reach out to?
I think there's a lot of market available. We have to go to more geographies, but where it is relevant is what we need to see. What is relevant? Where we make life simpler, bigger economies, more populous nations. Those are geographies which we want to be present, because that is where I think the experience is bad. When it's a big populous country is where you see people struggling to get good services, good experiences out of banks, which is where it takes us to the first point of being a chore
Yeah.
to do banking. That is where it begins. It all begins. So those are the places somewhere like Latin America, Central Asia. These are places, big countries, populous countries. Africa, of course. Africa is a continent.
Yeah, there's 54 countries,
yeah,
and
so
I mean,
there's
I'm sure
a-
each one can play a role.
yeah.
Just correct me if I'm wrong, but some of your early years were in Africa.
Yeah.
Am I right to?
We began in Ghana. That is where the journey began. The first client was in Africa. We have some very large banks even today in Ghana, Sierra Leone, Kenya, Tanzania. Recently, this year, we won a very big, one of the most technology forward banks in Ethiopia has signed up with us. The next markets would be in Asia. If you look at it, yes, again we have got Indonesia, Thailand.
You touched upon AI generated services, and how you're going to embed them into your technology. Is that something that's already happening, or?
I think we are already doing some parts of product. All the codes are now not written by our people. Some of the codes are already AI written, and we wrap. The wrapper is usually written by us, but some of those basic codes can be now written of AI. We are already using it to reduce uh, taking time to market, time to implement has become very short because we use AI. When you want to develop a screen for a customer, because the product functionality could be the same, each customer wants a screen differently. So those things can be AI written today very quickly.
So you can customize it to suit a certain bank's
Very yeah,
need. Okay, that's
using
interesting.
latest AI technologies. Yes.
So would you say that, I mean, you did talk about innovation at one level, and then you talk about execution, right? I mean, the time to market or the deployment thing to it. Obviously, these two must go hand in hand. I mean, in terms of, is that the expectation nowadays in terms of what you take 30 days or 60 days or 90 days has to be, brought back into is
Uh, I think the most important thing, at least in our banking software industry, is not even the time. It's more about don't overshoot. Don't. There are instances where many implementation take years, which makes the product irrelevant by the time the product is implemented. In our case, we take pride again in that fact that we have never overshot an delivery deadline. I think that is more important in saying that whether we deliver it in 30 or 60 days, but we deliver it on the time mentioned, which makes the bank also plan their activities better.
I love the idea that you said earlier about data insights and observations, but there's also something that technology by itself does, right? I mean, in terms of its dynamic nature, that actually forces one to be always on, if I may say that, in terms of, as a company, that's something that's BankGenie has continuously create the magic that it has.
If you see all our products, we have tried to map the journey from the time the customer gets onboarded. How can we simplify his opening of an account? Then the next product, if you take, how do we uh, make the bank itself digital? How can we make that experience? The third is that, okay, it's not a digital branch, it's a physical branch. You walk into a branch, how do we make that convenient? How do we give the better experience? So on and so forth. We actually map the journey of a customer in a bank from the time he starts his relationship. So all our products are related in that way, in one way or the other, connected to where his journey is going in the bank.
Yes, it's a lovely thing, because what you're saying, the two key takeouts, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, from what you're saying is, you ask the question, how can we make, so
Yeah.
every question seems to be answered in with the how.
Yeah.
And the other point you are making is about the relationship between the bank and its customer. You're strengthening that very relationship.
Correct.
Would that be fair to say?
Yeah, that is how it is. Yeah. So, I mean, today it's a world of choices. Even in the case of banks, we have a lot of choice. So every bank wants to provide the best experience to their customer, to feel them wanted there, make them feel they are a priority customer, and at the same time, they should be doing multiple transactions with the bank in the simplest possible way, which is what we are trying to help the bank achieve. We are trying to help the bank do exactly that. How do we help the bank enhance their capabilities, enhance their systems, processes to make banking simpler? Today, banking is a part of our life. Everything is a banking transaction. You pay for your taxi, it's a banking transaction. You buy your coffee, it's a banking transaction. So it should be simple. Either it's a wallet making the payment, it's your Apple Pay making the payment. Still, it's a debit from your account to a credit. Going to the bank is not necessarily the only banking you do.
Yeah.
You disconnect to your electricity services. The government electricity company gives you back maybe a check for the deposit you paid while you open your account. that needs to be deposited. That becomes a banking transaction.
That's true. That's very true. I just want to talk to you about something that, I mean, it's a slightly coined word, but what I'm calling is technology resilience. And by that, I'm talking about when we create technology, how do you believe from the team, that the experts that within your team, and we've seen that happening around the world, whether it is in cybersecurity, whether it's in outages, how do you ensure that Bank-Genie's systems can withstand disruptions, cyber attacks, potential failures from a technology point of view, which is an important aspect in today's
Yeah.
environment.
I think there's no such thing as 100% safety, or you cannot be hacked. You cannot be a subject of an attack. That is not going to happen. In Bank-Genie, what we have been doing is that we have been very careful as we deal with banks. Of course, safety is utmost important aspect of a banking product. We have our own set of ethical hackers who do test every product. We have a vulnerability test certification. We do external cyber security tests and certify our products. That's after all this, only our product gets deployed at a bank.
Okay, so you have your whole
Yeah, we
process
have
and due diligence.
without which you cannot launch a product into the bank system.
Yeah.
Bank also does all these things after what we have done. We produce our certificates. After that, the bank also does this.
Again, going back to your customers, the fact that you have about 40 banks, when they come to you, what should they expect when a customer comes to you? I'm a bank, I've come to Bank-Genie and I say, come to Bank-Genie, do I get trust? Do I get assurance? What are the aspects you think that?
I think as a company, we have always focused on products or experiences which other banking software companies have not looked into. If you see any of our products, yeah, there could be some products which are overlapping, but most of our products have been trying to look at a problem or trying to look at it from a different aspect, from a different angle. That is what customer would look at us when they come. Because if you ask a check deposit software for Philippines, or lobby management, or a crowd management, we are evolving as a product. As you know, we are trying to build a whole new product around crowd management alone for a certain geography, which we are working on. So crowd management itself is a problem. I mean, that is what customers should look at us, or customers look at us when they come to us. They are trying to get a product experience which they can provide their customers.
My final question to you, as it's been a lovely 10 years, as I'm sure there's a lot of hard work, a lot of challenges, a lot of, I'm sure it's got its ups and its downs, and in any journey of growth. Where does the next 10 years look like for you? Where do you think Bank-Genie at 20, if I may say, or Bank-Genie at, let's say 15, how have I grown? How do I mature?
I think we have just begun our journey. This is just the beginning. I think there's a long way to go before. In this evolving world, I think we wouldn't know where this is going to take us, very frankly. Everything is moving at a fast pace. 1 year back, we didn't know ChatGPT is going to play such a big role in our lives, or AI is going to play. So banking also could be seeing a lot of change, how banking is done in the coming years. So we are here for the long run. Our focus is very clear. We want to be a company which provides banks with an opportunity to enhance experiences
at a daily level.
In a usual normal banking. That is what we want to. So I think given that agenda, given that goal and a mission, I think we are too young. 10 years is nothing. We have just learned that, okay, there can be some things which can be provided. We are still trying to improve a lot of other things.
And if there's anything else you would like to add to your team members, your customers, that you would like to tell them about what to expect from Bank-Genie and as a company.
I think it is customers, my team, my partners, and people like you who have been well-wishers and advisors. Without them, those 10 years would have not been possible. Of course, my first thanks would go to the team again. I value them. I regard them very high. I value their contributions very high. Nevertheless, after that comes customers who gave us an opportunity in the first place to they trusted us and bought our products to take us to this level. Then, of course, the partners who took us to those banks showcased our product. So it's a whole ecosystem which has helped us grow and complete this 10 years. And I look forward to the next journey, next part of my journey into the 15th and the 20th and the 25th and so
on. Bank-Genie. 10 years of making banking better.